Hello, fellow mappers. I was in the mood to do some land use mapping. I don't usually do this because I find it a little bit confusing. Actually, I'd like a little bit of feedback on this. So land use is special because it kind of goes as a layer underneath everything else. So it's not really connected to any of the other mapping features. And I've always wondered what the right scale is to map, for example, residential land use, right? So you can see here, here's sort of one block of houses, if you will. Let me see if I can select it. Oops, nope, don't want to do that. Um, so you see here like a boxed in, you see here a rectangle, one block of houses. Is that the right scale to map land use? Like, do you stay within the boundaries of all the different streets, or do you go sort of larger scale? Let me show you something that I did earlier. We zoom out. Here's OpenStreetMap, as you know it and love it. And here I did some land use the other day. See, it's not rendered at low zooms yet, but here you can start to see it. Where I did like bigger blocks of land use, right? So there was already school grounds land use in place. So this yellow stuff here was already there. But then I decided to just draw a big old residential land use, kind of spanning all these blocks here. Like even I think it even made it so big so that all the gray you see here is one block of land use, one polygon, one area. And what turned out that the render, OpenStreetMap renders residential sort of at the bottom naturally. So these school grounds and these parks and these commercial areas still show up even though they're not cut out as a multi-polygon, right? So this led me to kind of adopt sort of a mapping style that just treats these polygons for residential and commercial and retail and all these urban sort of land use types as sort of disconnected, separate polygons that are not necessarily sort of, you don't necessarily have to do complex like multi-polygon stuff to make sure that they don't overlap. I just have them overlap. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but at least visually it looks fine. So I'd like some feedback on that. I'll show you how I did it. So I downloaded a bunch of stuff in JOSM. I'm actually going to use the filter dialog to filter out the buildings. Um, there we go. So everything goes a little bit quicker. Actually, I'm going to filter the footways as well. I think it's done like this. Yes. So the display is just a little bit cluttered, and I'm still able to see all the land use that's already there. So now what I do is basically I start somewhere. This freeway seems like a good place to start. And I draw sort of a fairly rough outline really of the land use. And I just cross all the major roads. I hold down control so it doesn't snap to the to roads, etc. So that's a neat trick that I often use. So I just I don't pay too much attention to detail. Okay, so this looks like I'm not going to make it too big so because you end up tracing forever. So this looks like this road looks like a good one uh, to to kind of stop. And I'm going to go around this existing commercial area. Or actually, no, just going to do as I promised, and I'm just going to treat it as separate layers. So there we go, all the way down. Go here. Just keep going. Let's zoom out and see where we are to go around. Okay, I think this is good. So we just keep going. I just treat these major roads as natural boundaries for the residential land use. Then I hit F3 and I select residential. It doesn't have a name because it's like it's not really a neighborhood as such. Then I upload it, if that works, yes. Add land use in C. Used Bing as a For the aerial, yes. So and then I have this big chunk. Then if I see if I see things that need to be cut out of there, for example, I have. Let's see, what is a good example here? There should be some more commercial land use here. Yeah. See if I see another commercial area, I hold control again so it doesn't snap to each other. I hate land use that snap to roads, you know. It just makes it difficult to untangle. So this is all commercial. Um, this too. I know this because I've been to these places, right? I live close to there, so um, actually I'm going to go across the street and add this too. No, this is a school. I don't want to include that. But this is pretty much all commercial. This as well. This as well. All the way through, basically all the way through the corner here. So I mark this whole area as commercial. And I upload that. And then if I go back to the map and go to that area that I just worked on, it will render fairly quickly usually. So that's right here. So this is the area kind of that I mapped as residential. So I'm going to zoom in and see if it starts to render already. I'm going to just force reload that page a few times. See there, you can see the commercial or the residential area is already now rendered in darker, right? And you see that the existing land use still lies on top of that, including this pre-existing commercial land use. If I zoom in a little bit further, yeah, you see that at different zoom levels, some zoom levels render faster than others. So you have to kind of keep reloading a little bit. So now you see it picked up the residential land use, and if I reload a few more times, it will probably pick up the commercial land use that I added later. Okay, not yet, not yet, not yet. Well, you get the drift. It will look like this. I'm gonna not bore you with just kind of sitting here and reloading. Wait, well, no. Sometimes when it takes a little longer. Ah, there we go. So at the higher zoom, it does work. So there you have it. This is my kind of rough way to render to map land use. And I'd like some feedback on it. If you think this is completely wrong, I would love to know because I want to do it right and I want to do it like other people do it, but as long as it makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm looking for your feedback. Let me know and happy mapping. I'm off to a mapping party here in Salt Lake City that I'm hosting in 20 minutes, so I better get going. Have a great weekend. Bye.